Okay, so let's add extra particles like we see in the original. You can see there are some extra particles. They're moving quite fast, but they are there. Mostly those that are going far are extra particles. And we can do that. So these small chunks are in a collection called small chunks. Now we just need a particle system for this original bottle. So I'm going to go to the particle system and add particles. If I play back, we get that. So I want to increase the normal velocity. Let's do 10. And I want these to be emitted at a certain frame, all of them at a certain frame. So we start at, let's say, frame out. We can follow the breakup pattern. So I think we started at 15. So this is, let's do 20 for the normal velocity. So let's say 15, start at 15 and end at maybe 16. So if we take a look at this, we get that. But we want to follow the same steps as our chunks. So if your bottle is not subdivided, subdivide it like this. And what we're going to do is select the half that has been broken or revealed, select it, and create vertex groups. I did it already here, but let me just remove this. So I'm just going to create a new vertex group, call it 1, assign, then go to the particle system and vertex group. For the density, let's use 1 so that all the particles are emitted at that frame. Now, I think the timing is off. So we have to start at 5 and maybe end at 6. So we get that. Now you can randomize some of this velocity so that it's not just a circle like this. Maybe, yeah, let's go under render and render the same collection, the chunks collection, and increase the scale, randomize the scale a bit. Perfect. And we can also turn on some rotation, set it to dynamic, and set an angular velocity of 1 so that the chunks also rotate. We want them to collide with the ground, so let me first scale the ground and give it a physics property of collision so that we allow particles to collide with the ground. Perfect. We don't want them to be that bouncy, so I'm going to go to the collision settings, increase the stickiness maybe to 1 or maybe 5, increase the damping so that they don't bounce too much, increase the friction so that they don't slide, and randomize these values as well. Perfect. We can also increase the life of the particles to the length of the timeline. Let's continue randomizing these values a bit so that the particles don't spread out in a sphere. I like that. I also don't want them to spread upward. So I'm just going to come back here and just deselect the top faces here. Select the top faces and remove them from the group, and now we have something like that. Okay, so that's going to be our first particle system. I'm going to call this maybe 1 for the particle setting, particle 1, or let's call it a small 1, and we can go to the next part. So this starts at frame 20, and all I'm going to do is duplicate this. So create a new particle system and use these small particles, but this time let's make this unique so that this is 2. Same settings. You can change the seed if you want, and then you have to change the vertex group. So from here maybe to there, and let's call this 2, assign, and come back here and use 2. The timing should also be different, so from 20 to maybe 21. So we get the first one and then the second one, and then we have to do the third one, and so we're just going to do, then 5 is just going to be the rest. So now we can go to the particle systems, Just make sure you're using, so this is going to be 3, and with the density of the group of 3, and the timing should be, so that is 1, that is 2, 3 is 35. Do this again. Perfect. And everything looks stable. I think that's good. The next setup is going to be maybe setting up the lighting.